On to you, Pisces. So for you, Pisces, you have the Moon, Ace of Pentacles, and then you Pisces have the Page of Wands. So for you, Pisces, right? Um, okay, so a lot of you are in a situation where, like, you Pisces, like I said, continuing to heal yourself, continuing to just, you Pisces have an understand. You're ahead of the curve. You Pisces understand that when you incorporate other people in your business, the vast majority of the time, they're going to mess it up terribly. They're going to mess it up. Um, it's not really going to end up well, or to the degree that you wanted it to, or both, right? To the degree that you wanted to, or well, because all it is that they can do is pretty much bring problems and issues to you. And so a lot of you Pisces understand this. And if you ask me, a lot of you Pisces have quit trying to hang out with others and trying to have like a large social life slash social group a long time ago, back in 2023. I see that a lot of you Pisces are like, yeah, you just kicking it by yourself, and maybe with a few other people that show you that they're worth something, and maybe a significant other or a few friends. Like, in other words, shrinking your social circle instead of trying to make it bigger. People can be acquaintances and stuff like this, but close friends and close with you, not really, right? Not everybody's going to get close. And so the situation with that is the Moon, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. Again, it just speaks to that. It speaks to how, like, you Pisces understand that it's actually one of the best decisions that you could have ever made, because your life is a lot more stress-free. You Pisces are getting to the mandatory, right? What I mean when I say mandatory, I mean like the things that you want to have, you need to have on a daily basis. You Pisces are getting to it because there's less blockages in the way, right? It's not an obstacle course. Now it's essentially a straight line. And what I mean when I say that, I mean nothing in the way, right? A lot of times when you incorporate or you bring other people into your business, does it get messed up? Does it get muddied up? Does it get worse? Because you bringing in a bunch of boneheaded people into the mix, and like they just make terrible decisions. A lot of them be like, I yo, I don't be understanding. Like, I don't be understanding, dude. Like, they be giving you a hard time and you be in that corner, right? If you were to bring other people into your business. And so the Page of Wands and the King of Cups is about how, yeah, like, you Pisces, y'all don't need all of that. You've been through it well enough with others. You Pisces have been through it well enough with others, enough to know that, this is the end result. When you bring a lot of people into your business and stuff like this, even people that, you may be familiar with, they so dysfunctional to the point where you can't even really take them seriously like that, for real, for real. You know what I mean? You can't really take them seriously. And so the situation with that is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands, right? The Nine of Wands is all about how, since that's the case, this is really about like how you Pisces, the Nine of Wands is about how it is that you will continue to move forward without having and needing, furthermore, this huge crowd. The Nine of Wands is about the plans that you Pisces have to continue to move forward regardless of um, what happens. The Nine of Wands, it means a lot of different things for you. For you Pisces, the Nine of Wands is also about like staying focused, learning how to be more by yourself, because you Pisces understand from personal experience, right? From experience and all that, and wisdom, that when you bring a lot of other people into your business, even if you know them, right? They so dysfunctional and downstairs with it, you are essentially wasting your time doing stuff like that. It's not a very good idea for you Pisces to do something like that. And so because of that, a lot of you Pisces now understand that since that's the case, I just see the Page of Wands, again, a lot of planning for the future. A lot of you Pisces thinking about, like how you can actually succeed for the future, in the future, right? What are the things that would potentially be difficult or deter you or stop you or give you a difficult time, and how you can actually solve those problems. You Pisces are thinking long term, not just this year, 2025. Technically, we're in now. Happy New Year, by the way. Spring is New Year, but the real New Year. But that's why Pisces leads the charge. That's why Pisces is first, because Pisces is the actual New Year. Because the marking of not Pisces, Aries is the actual New Year. Excuse me, right? It's just that the situation with that is that the reason why it's the actual Aries is the actual New Year is because Aries is first, because Aries marks the New Year. Because the first date of Aries is March 22nd, which happens to be the first day of spring, right? So first or second day of spring, right? Sometimes the dates change back and forth depending on the year, right? But the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that that's literally what it is that I'm saying. The fact that you could be in a particular situation, right? And you Pisces understand that, you got to go in this thing called life by yourself. You got to do the majority of the work, the vast majority of the work, because these people are so broken and dysfunctional. You Pisces are so far ahead of the curve. It's no point, right? There's no point. And see, the Magician card and the Three of Wands right here speaks to how, and since that's the case, a lot of you, a lot of you Pisces, the Magician is the second most powerful card of the Tarot deck. And then you have the Three of Wands. Right, which is your now the Magician is like Gemini or Virgo or Scorpio. So like a lot of your opposite energy showing up here for you Pisces. And it shows that a lot of you are a lot more crafty than what you think. So there's this planning going on with you Pisces, where it's like you Pisces plan on being a loner for as long as possible, because and only people who have like value, who not transactionally, but I mean like value in the sense that like they're real about actually having your back, you about theirs. They're not interested in, doing the stuff that a lot of the people see on social media. They actually are interested in making a real family with you, right? Giving you that community that you Pisces want, and probably still want. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting community, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting community. But the point that I'm trying to make here is you Pisces are planning for your success. You're successful, right? You're business minded, a lot more business minded than a lot of people think. And I've talked about this before, that, a lot of these chair people or CEOs of these Fortune 500 companies, a lot of them are Pisces, believe it or not. A lot of them are, it's not Aries, a lot of them are Pisces, believe it or not. The majority of the Fortune 500 companies, the CEOs that run them or sit at the top or a very high position, a lot of them are Pisces, believe it or not. And so why that's so important is because you Pisces are using your CEO, chairperson, executive skills to actually be able to map your life out for the next 10, 15, 20 years, right? And understand what it is that you're going to do, but also understand what are the problems that can pop up. And if this problem pops up, what are you going to do then, right? If this, then this. If this, then this. If this happens, then this will happen. And so the Ten of Swords, right? It represents the Ten of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. This is giving you clues as to what it is that you Pisces are thinking about. You Pisces are thinking about, like, what happens if you end up like getting weak, or if you Pisces end up having a moment of weakness, right? And I'm gonna cover this. What happens when you Pisces have a moment of weakness and you end up meeting somebody that you think is cool, but then they turn out to be a nightmare? And to answer that question, nobody can ruin your life unless they really catch you by surprise and do something drastic. But the vast majority, I'll say 99% of the time, 95% of the time, no one can ruin your life. So that's something that's kind of a delusion from you Pisces. No one can ruin your life, because I get it. What you Pisces are thinking about is, you still want companionship to a certain extent. So what happens if you Pisces get with somebody, like I said, and things turn out to be good at first, but then they turn out to be a psycho, right? They're just out of their minds. And to answer that question, to be real with you, if they turn out to be a psycho, then you Pisces ultimately just leave them alone, really. Leave them alone, regardless of whether you're in a marriage, in a relationship. Leave them alone. That's why you had the cops. If they're really that bad, for real. Now don't call the police on them if they not doing anything. You see what I'm saying? I don't suggest always calling the police, but I mean, like, if they really do something, call the police. You know what I mean? Like, real talk, if that's the case, if they do something terrible, So, or stay away from them, go ghost. Nobody has to know that you moved. Nobody has to know your location. Nobody has to know. Nobody got to know. This is why I encourage people sometimes to go ghost. And what I mean by that is, you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. Why would you do that? Does everybody know your business? There's people in this neighborhood that my family and I are cool with that don't even know that don't know what's going on. Because why tell them? For what? There's no point. You know what I'm saying? Unless you want to. Obviously, unless you want to, why tell them? There's literally no point to it. So let's clarify the Seven of Swords. So to clarify, Ace of Cups, the Devil card, the Eight of Cups, Two of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, to clarify the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords is like you Pisces trying to be more robotic. That's not going to work. The answer to this is, again, it's okay if you Pisces want companionship. You can have companionship. You could date. I'm not saying that you Pisces can't date with them at all. You can still date and have fun, and you Pisces can not only date and have fun, but y'all could be in a committed relationship on top of that. All I'm talking about is the obstacles that are getting in the way that you are planning for. I'm just saying, take it into consideration. Plan for a person who may be a little bit weird and obtuse with you. That is one of the things that you could be planning for too. What happens if you Pisces get into a relationship with a person that seems like they all cool at first, but they're wild and they're all over the place? Well, what is a solution to that? A solution to that is you Pisces see that they're getting wild. They don't really have a particular plan. The plan is leading to your self-destruction, or leading to your destruction or your own dysfunction. The plan is leading you down a rabbit hole of terrible decisions. So guess what you do? You vanish. You break up with them. More oftentimes than not, you're probably free to go. It's just that what causes the downfall of a lot of other people is that when they see the writing on the wall, they still stick with it. They don't get off the ship. They don't say, hey, listen, I'm bouncing. You know what I'm saying? Before this thing really turns bad, because I'm seeing the writing on the wall, I'm bouncing. They stay there. They feel me? They stay there. And see, the Ace of Cups, the Devil card, and the Eight of Cups right here speaks to how, to clarify the Seven of Swords, again, it speaks to how, like, you know, you just have to watch out for people who are the devil in disguise, you know, people that this just have terrible intentions, you know, downtrodden, you know, dysfunctional people. Again, the Eight of Cups, ahead of myself. Get out. When you see the writing on the wall, get out of the situation. The Two of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, you know, it will be whack. It'll be trash for a couple of days. But this is why it is that you take time off and heal, because you did the right thing. You got out. Like the stuff that I be teaching y'all here on this channel, y'all don't be knowing how much. Look, I'm not gonna get too deep into it to kind of like, I'm not trying to have y'all feel indebted to me or none of that, because it's not about that. But a lot of y'all don't be knowing, like I be talking to some people and stuff like this, and they be telling me that how it is that I get out of real messed up situations, they wish that they had the ability to do what I did or do what I do. Serious, and I'm not joking. Seriously, you know, like they be telling me like, yo, you're smart. Like you get out. Like you get out. When you see the writing on the wall and you see it, you get out. They tell me you're one of the best ones that I've ever heard that does stuff like this. Seriously, they tell me that. So it's like the stuff that I learned from personal experience, that I come here and I tell you, Pisces, y'all, I be giving y'all grade A, grade S information. Seriously. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Peace.